Welcome back, everyone, to your podcast, our podcast, the Popular Side Podcast. As always, that's Mr. Yinka Yusuf.
Good evening, people. How are we doing?
And I'm Akinadike Yinka. We're recording on a Sunday, the 8th of March. How are you?
Yes,
How's
sir.
it going?
I'm good. You?
I'm good. I'm excited to get this going. I really like our first topic. I can't wait. So let's get through all the niceties. Let's go. I can't wait.
Let's go. So we promised ourselves we need to do this in 1 hour, right?
Yes.
So without much further ado, let's just head on straight into it. I see excitement. Yeah.
I'm excited. Yinka,
take it away. Yes, sir.
Yinka, just before we
Yes,
got
sir.
on, you and I were chit-chatting, catching up. I told you I was on the phone with my mom. A week from today, my mom would turn 79. Why am I saying this, Yinka? Why am I saying this? Right? I love my mom, right? And you know I have businesses.
Yes.
I would not turn my businesses over to my mom to manage at 79. You might still be wondering where I'm going with this. Now, if I found the 39-year-old version, if I found the 39-year-old version of my mom,
why not?
She could go in there, take some names.
Yep.
All right?
Yep.
The club you love to hate the most in the world, Tottenham Hotspurs,
Yes, sir.
are considering handing over the club to 79-year-old Harry Redknapp. This is not a joke. This is a serious conversation, Yinka. So they fired Thomas Frank, one of the better, EPL coaching prospects in the last several years, who overachieved with Brentford, brought them up from the championship, sold a bunch of his players. He kept plugging along. Not a problem. We know that man is not the problem. They fired him. They brought Igor Tudor, who has coached in other places, somewhat successfully, right? Fell flat on his face. They just lost to Crystal Palace 1-3 with a red card their last time out. So now, how many games has he played? The game against Arsenal 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago was his first game. So has he even played 5 games, including in Europe?
Maybe 4 or 5 right now.
Let's give him 5. Let's even give him 6. We know it's not 7. They're ready to fire this man and bring in Harry Redknapp. Yinka, so I was watching Sky Sports, Sunday, whatever they call it. And there was a woman on there who made the look.
So he has played 3 games. 3 games.
That's okay. I was way too generous. So this woman was like, I don't advise you to do this, but I went back all the way to May of last year and watched every goal Tottenham have conceded, going back to May of last year. She watched it, and she said it was a lack of accountability. Midfielders did not take any accountability. Defenders did not take any accountability. The forwards don't press. That's an attitude problem. So okay, so leave that one to the side. Another guy on the show was like, hey, there was an article in whatever newspaper in the UK that were talking about what they need now is love, Yinka, from the fans. They don't need anxiety from the fans. The players are too anxious. They're little flowers, you can't yell at them. There's anxiety in the grounds and the toilet bowl, which they spent billions of pounds to build, right? So apparently this is a match made in heaven, because Harry Redknapp is like a nice grandpa now, or grandma, whatever. But Yinka, you have kids, I have kids, your kids have grandparents, my kids have grandparents, Do you sometimes look at your grandparents, your parents relating to your kids and wondering, who are these old people? The things I would have gotten my behind whooped for.
Yeah.
My parents think it's, oh, ha, ha, ha. It's so great that the kids are doing this. That's who you want? So love is what's missing at Spurs? Do you see why this excites me? Do you see why I couldn't wait to get this episode started? Of all the things going on in the world and in the world of sports, this is the most fascinating thing to me. They think they need more love, Yinka. Let me
They're not gonna get any love to start with, because irrespective, no matter the volume of love that your coach is giving you, the flogging that you will get on the pitch is going to completely overwhelm that love. So even if somebody is loving up on you, you ain't gonna feel it because you're busy getting flogged. You're busy getting flogged on the pitch. That's what's gonna happen. You know why I say so?
Yeah.
I think I did this 2 weeks ago, but I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna run through their fixtures for the rest of the season.
Murderers row.
So on Tuesday, they are away to Atletico Madrid in the UCL. Then they come back home on Sunday and they're away to Liverpool.
In the EPL.
Then the return leg of the UCL with Atletico Madrid. Yeah. Then the Sunday after that, weekend after that, they are home to Nottingham Forest. We all saw what Nottingham Forest did to City.
Yeah.
Then the next weekend, they're away to Sunderland. Sunderland, the Stadium of Light is a fortress at this point. They've only lost one game there. And that was Liverpool coming home to beat them. Yeah? Then they are home to Brighton the next weekend. All these games are not guaranteed winnable games for Spurs.
No, they're not winnable.
Then the next weekend, they're away to Wolves. Wolves have had a turnaround. They're spanking everybody left, right, and center now. Yeah? Wolves away to Wolves. Then the next weekend, they're away to Villa. Villa, who is hunting for Europe. Yeah? Then after that, they're home to Leeds, away to Chelsea, and home to Everton. Aki, in this whole fixtures list that they have here, the only game that I might give them some, maybe you might get a point or two, maybe 2 games, is this Leeds at home. Yeah? Spurs at home to Leeds, and Spurs at home to Everton. Yeah? Those are the only games that I might give them, maybe you get some points here and there. But if you look at the table, Aki, they are 1 point ahead of relegation. They are only 1 point ahead of West Ham. Given they have a better goal difference, it's -7. West Ham have -19. So I can say it's actually 2 points. But given that fixture list that I just listed out, the spread of 2 points is nothing. It is absolutely nothing.
Are they playing West Ham for the rest of the season?
No, they're not.
I wish they were.
But they are playing Forest.
Yeah.
And you know why I say so? Because Forest is also in the same relegation battle with them.
Yeah.
Forest is on 28 points. West Ham is on 28. Spurs is on 29.
Yeah.
So they're playing Forest. So Forest is also battling relegation. And the Leeds that I mentioned, they're just 2 points behind Leeds. So Leeds is also battling relegation. So you see all the games they have, all the games are cup final games for them. Aki, I will be shocked if they make it. Forget all the love, forget Harry Redknapp. If you like, bring Bobby Robson. If you like, bring Brian Robson. The Bobby Robson that's passed on already. God bless his soul. Bring any Robson you want to bring. At this point, Aki, these guys are going down, man. They are going down. They're gone. They're gone. I rest my case.
Okay, so I should not find this much pleasure in the what's the word I'm looking for, in the misery of my enemy, but I'm not a good person, so I do. So I love this. I love this so much. Like, I know a lot of Arsenal fans are like worried about what might happen, what might not. I will say it with my full chest. I don't care if I'm wrong. The only thing that will make Arsenal win in the EPL even more enjoyable for me will be Arsenal winning the EPL and Spurs getting relegated. This has to happen. Yinka, this has to happen. This has to happen.
Absolutely.
And let me tell you why. Let me tell you why I think it's more likely than people think to happen. Now, Kolo Muani is an extremely talented young man.
Yes.
If Kolo Muani showed up to the Emirates today, you could argue he would be the best striker at the Emirates. You could argue.
Yeah.
You could argue, right? Throw form away. You know, modern striker who gives you more ways to play than the other alternatives.
Yep.
He might be the best suited number 9 at Arsenal if he showed up today. Right? When he scored against Arsenal the last 2 weeks ago, it was his first EPL goal this season.
Yep.
Today, Spurs haven't won in 2026. They haven't
2026.
won. I think they're the only team in the Premier League that have not won in the calendar year. The bottom team that
I want to believe so. Yeah.
No, they are.
I want to believe so.
Wolves have won. So this can happen. Okay? And then when you think about the manager situation of the people in and around, Daniel Falker, is he a great at Leeds? Is he a great manager? We don't know. But he has a point of view. They've been playing his way for however long. They know what they need to do. Whether they'll do it or not, we don't know. I saw Leeds against Norwich City in the FA Cup today.
FA Cup, yeah.
You know, he rested a few players. They look like a coherent team that is actually doing stuff in training. You have Nuno at West Ham, who is not gonna miss any opportunity to say something about Spurs, right?
Yeah, given the history.
Yeah, Burnley are 19th right now, right? They don't have talent.
Out of it.
I know they don't have talent, but who is more likely to string together? Let's say everybody has, everybody has 10 matches to go. Everyone has 9. Arsenal have 8. Is that how it is, or something like that?
Everyone has. Everyone has 9. Arsenal has 8. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Arsenal and Wolves have 8. Everyone else has 9, right?
9. Yeah.
So I can see Burnley getting 4 or 5 draws out of their last 8. I can see it. Or I can see them getting a mix of 4 or 5 wins and draws. They will lose a bunch. They will lose at least 4. But the difference in relegation or survival could be, do you lose 4 or do you lose 5? Yeah. I don't think their coach, Scotty, what's his name? What's his surname now?
I know the guy.
Scotty Parker.
Scott Parker, yeah.
I don't think he's a brilliant manager. But again, it's stable. They're stable. They have a point of view. They know what they came to do. Now, Yinka, there's a miracle of all miracles that is looming that I'm not ruling out. Call me crazy. Wolves surviving, I am not ruling it out. Because again, they have a point of view, Yinka. I know. But you can't beat Liverpool on Friday.
Burnley and Wolves, they're out of it. Nah, forget it. Forget it. The contest for the last slot is between Spurs, Forest, and West Ham. Yeah, don't bring Wolves and Burnley into it.
I hear what you're saying, but you always tell us about the eye test.
Yes.
So Wolves played Liverpool back to back. They played them in the EPL last week, and then played them in the FA Cup on Friday, right? So they beat them in midweek, and now they played twice in the same week, I think, or whatever it was. Yeah, right.
They played on Tuesday and
Friday. Okay, thank you. So now they were well beaten. Wolves were well beaten in the FA Cup, but it was like 2 goals that came in a minute and a half.
In quick succession, yeah.
You know what I mean? In the 50-something minute. Yeah. So it wasn't like Liverpool went there and destroyed them. And
absolutely,
they beat Liverpool. They can win games. Like right now, I know you're not a betting man, but if we had to bet, are Spurs more likely to win a match than Wolves?
So here's the thing. Yeah. The reason why Wolves is doing this is because the shackles are off. They themselves they've resigned to their faith of, guys, we're not staying up. So they're completely playing with no handbrakes on, no pressure, nothing. The more games they win, the more they would have been like, oh, we might stay up. And once they start thinking that way, guess what? Their performance will have to be affected. So for me, I think it's a spiral for them. It's a cycle rather, right? So yes, they will win some games, but the more games they start winning, and most of their fixtures are they're against relegation fodder also. They're playing West Ham, they're playing Leeds, they're playing Spurs, they're playing Burnley. Their last game of the season is against Burnley. That's Wolves.
Yinka, if I told you they win those 4 matches, would you be shocked? That's my question.
Okay. Fingers crossed. Okay. Fingers crossed.
I think that is my crazy prediction, sure to go wrong. I can see Wolves staying up, Yinka. I can see it. Yeah. Burnley, I don't have faith in Burnley. But I can see Wolves staying up. And it would make no sense. They've only won 3 matches. They are minus 30-something in goals difference. They shouldn't be in play, but they are in play. You know why? Because they hired the right manager for themselves. They didn't care about, do we survive or do we not? Okay, we give up. This guy can bring us right back up. And they went and got him from Middlesbrough. That's it. They're going to try and keep as many players as possible, which is why that whole Wolves are the worst team in the history is just not accurate. It's just not true. It's just not true. And this Keith Edwards dude, we liked him when he was he not at Luton? Well, it was the guy at Luton, right, that we liked.
No. It wasn't him.
It wasn't him. We liked him somewhere, wherever it was before.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so I hear you, but
we will come back. We'll put a pin in it.
We'll put a pin in it, and we'll come back.
We'll check on
Spurs. Yeah, y'all are going to Charlton Athletic, Millwall. Those will be your own games next season. You might have the best stadium in the land, where we'll be entertaining Bristol City, entertaining Borough. That's if Borough doesn't even come up to the EPL. It's sad. It's sad.
Okay. It's not all bad. They have at least 2 NFL matches next season. Come on. It's not all bad. There will be and they'll get a lot of concerts. There'll be a lot of concerts at the Toilet Bowl. It is not all bad. Okay, let's move on. Yinka, last week we promised that we will come back and, we'll give you time to digest the financial results that came out.
Yep.
So why don't you do your thing? Financial results, top 6, 7 clubs in the EPL. Who did what and to whom and why?
So I'm going to make it very brief because of time. So if you remember vividly, what led to this was the reports that Chelsea made circa £350 million loss for the financial year ended. And we were like, how does this compare to the rest of the clubs? Yeah, so most of them don't have the same year end. So I'm just going to do comparisons, based on their last reported financial statements, right? So Arsenal, revenue of £616 million. Arsenal made a loss of £17 million. City, revenue £694 million. They made a loss of £9.9 million. Liverpool, £703 million revenue, largely driven by the fact that they are the EPL champions, right? And they made a profit of £8 million. Manchester United estimated revenues around £660 million. They're trending they'll probably trend towards a profit, but it's a limited profit too for their financial year. Villa, on the other hand, £275 million, and Villa made a loss of £80 million. Yeah? Spurs, £528 million, they made a loss of £26 million. Now, why am I saying this? Well, why am I bringing this up? Going back to Chelsea, we have historically talked about how ridiculous Chelsea's financial whatever
model
is. Their financial model is, and their financial strategy is. A lot of people countered and said, oh, it's ingenuity. These guys, they know what they're doing. And I'm like, that would only work if your recruitment is top-notch. With the recruitment that I have seen, with the nonsense that these Chelsea guys are recruiting in terms of players, there is no way they will not get stuck with dead stock on their hands. Which is exactly what is going on now. Player valuation, even Cole Palmer right now, his valuation is not way up there because of his performances. Which Chelsea player did they acquire? Apart from Cole Palmer, since they acquired him, that you have said he would have increased in value based on performance. Akin who?
Maybe Garnacho, because of his situation where he was coming from. Maybe, maybe he's been rehabilitated a little bit.
But you know the way it works.
Million. Yeah, a couple million.
But maybe a couple million. But United must have placed the value on him too, right?
That's true.
So when you're comparing the valuation of when he was at United as at now, what has he done to really, really boost his valuation?
Nothing. He's been a bench
player. So the only two people that come to mind for me, right, or maybe three, is Caicedo at £100 million. I think his value is probably still above that 100 million.
Nobody's going to pay 100 for him. Nobody's going to pay 100. But I hear you.
But nobody. I don't think anybody's going to pay less than 100 for him. Yeah?
Nobody's going to pay 100.
So I can say they've not lost money on Caicedo. João Pedro, I can say they've gained money on João Pedro because he's been decent.
Yeah.
Cole Palmer, because he's English, is the hype and everything. That one too.
They got him
apart
cheap.
From those three.
Yeah.
And they got him cheap. Thank you.
Yeah.
But apart from those three, there's really nobody that you look at in the Chelsea, squad and you say, this guy has significantly increased in value. Or this based on the outputs on the pitch. That is why Chelsea right now, they are hanging on a £355 million loss, Akin. 355. Now, another indication of how well your club is run is a KPI that we call wage as a percentage of revenue.
Okay.
And it's just as I said it. So how much what's your wage bill as a percentage of your revenue? Right? I told you maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, I said Spurs are a properly run club from a financial perspective. You smirked. I was right. They have the lowest wage as a percentage of revenue across the top 7. They are at 42%. 42%. Arsenal is next. Hold on now. Arsenal is next at 53%. I know what you're going to say. I'm going to say the same thing too, but we'll get there. Arsenal is at 53%. City at 57%. Remember, City has one of the highest revenue. So, most of this revenue is all this intercompany,
infusion from the sponsors. Let's just call them that.
From the sponsors. And these sponsors are indeed intercompany. But they have 57%. Liverpool, 61%. Manchester United, around 60%. Guess what percentage Chelsea is?
79?
75%. You're close.
Yeah.
75% of their revenue is allocated to wages. Guess what Villa is?
They had much lower revenue, 69.
They are at 96%.
Oh, that's worse. Who are they paying?
So, you see when the rumors came out that Morgan Rogers was going to leave, that Villa might have to sell, this is where it's coming from.
Got it.
And when you see what's his name, Unai Emery looking like Voldemort after he loses a game, this is where it's coming from. If they don't make Champions League, they're in trouble. They will need to sell players next season. They will need to sell players next season. Or they will need significant infusion. Yeah? So, when they talk about, Arsenal spends money, net spend, Net spend is nothing. What you all should be really, really focusing on is actually the transfers plus the wage bill. The wage bill is a major problem. As you can see, that's the problem that Chelsea have now. That's the problem that Villa have. And Spurs, for all their 42%, I guess you're going to say who you help.
Oh no, I was gonna say that that will help them when they go into the championship. Because normally, when you get relegated, you get a parachute payment from the Premier League, so to help you defray some of your costs. But this is a value over replacement player situation. Spurs players are still making way more than a typical bottom three team would pay. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah.
Just to show you that Spurs are rattled, right?
Yeah.
Spurs paid. How much did they get paid for Gallagher again?
Gallagher, was it 38 million or did I make that up? Or 42 million? Something like that.
Something ridiculous, right? Is Gallagher worth that amount of money?
He has not pulled up any trees. Let's put it that way.
Right. So yeah, you're right. They paid. I think they said they paid 34 million for him. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's on a ridiculous amount of money in terms of wages, man.
It would be.
Right.
It would be.
Which is ridiculous, right? And somebody said they just paid that ridiculous amount of money for an energy bunny. That's all he can do. All he can do is run. That the skill is not there. I actually like him, but it's in a horrible environment. So
I've always liked Gallagher. I liked him when he was at Chelsea, to be honest.
Yes.
When he went to Atleti, I thought that was a good one. I like that English boy actually took a chance on himself. I went abroad.
Yeah.
And not just to like Real Madrid or Barcelona or Bayern. Atleti, that's good. And I think I thought it was going to a coach that would match his skills. You're full of energy. You have some skill. It's not the most skilled, but I thought it would work out. I'm sad for him that it didn't work out.
So this is the thing with Gallagher. Gallagher needs somebody to douse, or rather to cater for, or to cater to his lack of
technical ability.
Technical ability, right? So if you put Gallagher next to somebody like a Pedri, who is not an energy bunny, but his brain is working overdrive, so they kind of compensate each other. So Pedri's lack of running, Gallagher takes care of it. You can now put in a Spurs midfield where you have Bentancur and Gallagher. They are more or less the same player. One is just Uruguayan, one is English.
And then Bissouma. There's no skill,
God bless you,
no guile in that midfield.
Or Papa Matissa, right?
Yeah.
It's just a wrong combo. Completely wrong combo.
Sar would be the most skilled of those four. That's crazy.
And that says a lot.
That makes no sense at all. Yeah, there's no skill in that midfield. Yeah.
There's no skill in that midfield. Anyway, I just wanted to highlight Chelsea's. I know they will find a way around getting funds in, selling one player for a ridiculous amount. They might even sell Garnacho to Saudi for one stupid amount of money because probably they have related parties with the Saudi guys. Yeah. All of this is just round tripping at this point. You'll find a wiggle room, backing loss of circa 400 million pounds is mad, man. Is crazy. Absolutely crazy.
A couple things in kind, then we can wrap this.
Yeah.
So one, good and bad news. So good news is, so this is, I don't think this is the way the fiscal year works in the league. Do you know exactly what the year end is for the information you just gave us? Because I feel like they're usually almost 18 months behind.
So it depends.
Okay.
Different clubs have different year ends, right? Okay. So if I just search Chelsea Football Club financial year end, I can get that out for you.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's different. Unlike the Nigerian banks that CBN says all of you must have 1 year. Yeah. So it's 30th of June. Yeah.
Okay, but which June? That's the thing. Was it 25 or 24?
No, this is 25.
Okay, so the reason I'm saying that, right?
Yeah.
So I'm using Arsenal as an example. So if you look at Arsenal's breakdown, player trading was plus 80 million pounds, right?
Yes.
They didn't sell anybody last summer for 80 million.
Yes.
So that was the people they sold 2 summers ago. That was my guy that I forgot his name last week and I'm forgetting again. Emil Smith Rowe. That was Emil Smith Rowe and somebody else. I forget who the somebody else was. So that 80 million pounds was from 2 summers ago. Because think about it. If it was June 30th, right? Trading usually happens after June 30th. Right?
Yeah, it's July, August. That's when the summer transfer window is.
Yeah. So for Arsenal, for example, they have an 80 million pound shortfall that is not walking through that door for the next time they release their financials. They don't have any. They didn't sell anybody last summer that to fill in the 80 million. There's nobody in the academy that is worth that much money, and they didn't get rid of their players that are sellable. They chose to hold on to, but instead they went and bought more players. They bought 6 more players. So Arsenal's numbers are going to look worse when this year comes out, right? So that's one.
But then,
right?
What will then, just a quick counter, what will then assuage that a bit will be Champions League, EPL, you went further down. So you're getting more revenues from that.
Even FA Cup. This is the first time in the quarterfinals for 6 years. This is the first time in the quarterfinals for 6 years.
Yeah.
So those gate takings, all of that goes to revenue, right?
All of that, okay. Absolutely.
So that's one, right? So now, how does that relate to Chelsea, right? So all this player trading they did, let's see how it shakes out over the next 12 months from that June 30th. Let's see how it shakes out. Because their biggest problem is, so they don't pay like massive wages in the grand scheme of things, but they have a massive squad and everybody's roughly at the same level. So there's really no one at the 30,000 a week level. Everybody's making like a decent amount of money. And then some people are making really nice money. Very few are making Man City, Real Madrid, Barcelona money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But I agree with you, but just to quickly counter what you said, but the reason for that is you've signed these people to 6-7 year contracts.
You have.
Right?
So you amortize the thing.
Exactly. You have to spread it out, you have to spread it out a lot more, which they thought was wise, but now they're stuck. You have Mukaila Mudrik that is there.
Who may never play for them again. He may never play for them again.
Is zero, man. Yeah. It is zero.
From what, 92 million? From 90.
Didn't they pay over 100?
Almost 100. Yeah, like 100. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's crazy.
It's zero right now. It's madness.
Crazy, Inka. That's crazy.
Madness of the Amsterdam. Anyway.
All right. Thank you, Inka. Thanks for getting through that. All right. So, Inka, let us look at the week that was. This past week was interesting. So, let's do France very quickly. I think PSG played on Friday and lost on Friday.
Yes.
Did they lose to Monaco on Friday? Was it 3-1?
Yes, they did. They lost to Monaco.
See,
they lost to Monaco.
This is why I can't take Monaco seriously. They had 2 chances against PSG where they were fully in the game in the Champions League. PSG were not good. You know, Monaco had a 2-0 lead in the first half. They lost the first leg. They lost the second leg. And now they want to play? Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. Those 2 games, right? I actually look at it this way. Monaco got red cards in both games, didn't they? I believe they did.
I think only the second.
Or was it the second one?
I think
was it the second leg?
But yeah, I think so. I could be wrong, but I think so.
So, in my opinion, I think the ref did them foul in that second leg. Yeah, and PSG were not significantly the better side. In fact,
they really were not
significantly. No. They were not the better side, in my opinion. I think Monaco were better. So across the 3 games that they played over the last 2 weeks, Monaco showed PSG that you might have all the stars, but we were playing better football than you.
Yeah.
It was a comprehensive game, Akin. I was shocked. And mind you, this was at PSG.
That's crazy.
It was at
That's
PSG.
crazy.
Yeah. Your boy, your US boy, Folari scored the third.
Yeah.
Fulani scored the third. So PSG lost. So me saying over the weeks I've been saying French league is foregone conclusion. There's nothing foregone here.
No.
There's
PSG
nothing
don't want to
foregone
win
because
it. They don't want
they
to
don't
win
want to
it.
win it. Because earlier on today, Lens won. So the gap is back to, I believe it's a point now or so.
That's
The
crazy.
gap is back to a point, man. So I don't know what's going on.
Do they play each other?
It's not PSG's to lose. They've played each other once. I think they still have. I think they still have a game to play. They have one more game to play against each other, right?
Wow.
So that's the situation in the French league. PSG 1 point ahead of Lens. They've played 55 games so. I'm sorry, I said 55. 25 games
25.
so far. 25, yeah, and we're going to 34. So that means there are 9 games left. 9 games left. Let's see what happens. PSG might fumble this one. They might, actually.
So Yinka, I always thought only Bundesliga in the top 5 played, had 18 teams. I thought France had 20. I didn't know they had 18 as well.
They have 18.
Wow.
France have 18.
I did not know that. Okay.
France have 18.
Speaking of the Bundesliga, let's go to the Bundesliga.
Should we still be talking about Bundesliga?
Yes, I saw a little bit of Dortmund, and I was just shaking my head. But anyway, go ahead.
So at least Dortmund won. Dortmund won over the weekend. Bayern spanked Mönchengladbach. I tell you, I've not watched Bundesliga in a while, so I watched this Bayern game. I typically watch highlights, but luckily I actually saw this game. Oh my God. The space, Saki.
Yeah.
The space. It's ridiculous. Goretzka and Kimmich, they'll collect the ball, they will turn, they'll go this way, turn back, go that way, turn back. Nobody's pressing them. And I'm like, you can't try this. You cannot try this nonsense. Even in the Spanish league, you can't try this nonsense. I'm like, what am I watching? The two of them, they will not turn, run, turn around. And those guys are just jogging and following them. I'm like, this is a training session, man. This is a training session.
So, if I may. So, I think this thing's going cycles, right? This is what I mean, right? I remember there was a day when Arsenal was still in the doldrums, where I'm literally watching. I think it may have been Real Madrid versus Bayern, and I almost cried. I'm like, my team would never play like this. Like, that's how bad Arsenal were, And that was around the time that Bayern was spanking Arsenal 5-1, 5-1 every time they met.
Yeah.
And it was a combination of the top teams in the world had recruited the most skilled, but also, maybe for the first time in a long time, also the most athletic. Because that Real Madrid team this was about 6 years ago, crazy athletic. The Bayern Munich team, crazy athletic. Like, Arsenal couldn't keep up with them. They couldn't run with them. They couldn't press them. Their goalkeeper was more athletic than your defenders. It just didn't make any sense. So I think it goes in cycles. I think Bayern is just playing on a different level. They are building for world domination, while their domestic league is building for survival in an inferior league.
Avoiding Oberliga, the second division. I mean?
So anyway,
to buttress your point, there was this interview. Is it Overlap? The guy Neville, right?
Overlap. Yeah.
So they brought your guy that you don't like, Gareth Bale, right?
Oh God!
They brought Gareth Bale.
I've seen the interview.
Yeah,
I can't stand it.
And Gareth Bale, you can't say Gareth Bale watches PSP, yeah, as in Popular Side Podcast. Maybe he does. Maybe he heard me say it, but he kind of buttressed or kind of agreed or confirmed what I told you. He said that when he was in Madrid, that the games they planned for is the Champions League games.
Of course.
Now, most of the league games, right, they know they're going to win. It's a function of how, is it going to be 2, 3, 4? Yeah. So they don't really game plan for that. They just go out there and they play.
It's still happening till this day.
But that's my point. That's why I tell you. So when people say Real Madrid dominates Europe, I would say it's a function, is large, and the same thing with Bayern. You can't be playing this. See, Wolves are bottom of the table. Akin, if you don't bring your A game against Wolves, right, they can outwork you and they will kill you. Go ahead.
Okay, Yinka, I think you almost got there, but you stopped yourself. You know, it's like you're stopping yourself from achieving this greatness on this topic. You needed to go a little further, Yinka.
Which is
the Liverpool and Man City sides that were getting 97, 98, 100, and 101 points versus this year's Wolves team. Do they need to show up? Or are they spanking Wolves 10 out of 10 times? You see where I'm going with this?
Not necessarily. Right?
You see, not necessarily. You're forgetting how good those teams were.
Not necessarily, right? And I get that those teams were very good, and I agree with you. But if you also look at, okay, let me say I agree with you to some extent because the disparity has kind of reduced. Those guys were very good, right? But that doesn't mean that they will come to that game. Even the version of the worst team in those years, you can't come to that game on gear 1 and just breeze through the game. It's not going to work. It's just the same way what you see in the FA Cup, right?
Yeah.
Arsenal went to Mansfield. On paper, that's supposed to be a breeze. But look at the way Mansfield played the game. Right? They're like, okay, we know that you are better than us. But what you will never say is that you are more hardworking than we are. We will run, we will chase you. If your skill supersedes our hard work, they're all well and good. We'll give up.
Okay.
But I will just lay on our backs and let you steam over us. Like the way these clowns that Bayern played over the weekend. Come on now. I don't think we ever had that kind of situation.
I think I understand the direction you're taking it to, right? But let me remind you, and I can't believe I'm defending La Liga and Real Madrid here, but let me remind you who was on those Real Madrid teams. Rudiger was already there at the time. Rudiger was already there.
I believe so. Was Rudiger there or was he at Chelsea? No, I think it was Sergio Ramos.
But that's what I was going to say. Sergio Ramos has never taken a game off in his life. It was as likely to elbow you in the face if you were at Getafe as if you were at Bayern Munich. He didn't care.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And then let's not forget who was Gareth Bale's teammates. A certain Cristiano Ronaldo. They literally had Higuain and Benzema. That's crazy. You know, if Benzema came back to this world right now as a 25-year-old, it would be worth 175 million today.
Yeah. So I think we're saying this. I think we're saying the same thing in a different way, frankly.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So I'm not saying the team is not good, right? The team is good. They are way above the pack, right? What I'm saying is the effort, the will, the zeal of the teams, the other teams in there. See, if the team wasn't good, they won't come to Europe and still dominate now. Do you get what I'm saying?
True.
They will not. They will not. So the teams are you are up there. What I'm saying is people that are not as good as you are facing stiffer opposition, not from a skill standpoint, but dogged people that know we don't know. See, this thing has even gone a step further, which is why I read, was it that I saw, I can't remember where this information came from, but this is not my idea. The guy said the reason why the football in EPL, everybody's shouting that, oh, people are now set pieces, people are doing this, people are doing that. Said the reason is because it is even now more imperative to win in here, right? The pressure is so much on everybody that almost every other team will be like, whatever we need to do to win, we are going to do it. We know we can't play good football. At least don't lose, right? And that is what is making the game in England evolve to a point where everybody now has a throw-in specialist.
Yeah.
A long throw specialist. We didn't have, it was only Roddy Delap that was a long throw specialist.
Yeah, anyway, a long time ago.
So, long time ago. Anyway, enough of our tangents. Bundesliga, Bundesliga is Bayern's to lose. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Real quick to Serie A.
Serie A, the Milan derby, AC Milan won earlier on today. But it's just a slight dent in Inter's title prospect. They're still 7 points ahead. Inter 7 points ahead. 38 games, 10 games left to go. I don't think Milan will recoup 10 points on Inter, or rather 7 points on Inter. So it's a good win for Milan in the Milan derby, but it won't change things in general.
Yeah.
So,
but Inca that was a top of the table 6-pointer, because a win for Inter would have taken the lead to 13. Instead, it's down to 7. So that's a big deal. To 7. I think when the leagues are over and we do our series of specials, one of them should be focused on how does Serie A come back, if it can come back.
Yeah.
Because I think we really should talk about that. Okay.
That's fine. Good.
La Liga. Real Madrid played first. They played, was it Friday?
They played, I can't remember, I think it was Friday, but they were way to Celta Vigo. I think they played Friday. They were way to Celta Vigo. Lucky win for them. Deflected last minute shot. That ball was going, I think it was actually going out of play, or maybe, and it struck the defender.
I think deflection, then hit the post.
Yeah.
Or was it the first goal that hit the post? But that's crazy. Yeah, I
think it was the first one. The second one, this was Valverde's goal. It was a deflection of the defender. The keeper went that way, ball went the other way. Lucky Madrid. Barcelona played yesterday, or was it earlier on today? I keep mixing
Barcelona.
I think they played yesterday.
Okay.
I think they played yesterday. So they were away to Athletic Club. And Lamine Yamal scored a good goal. They beat Atletico 1-0. What surprised me in that game was Barca, to some extent. Barca started playing defensive, which is very, very odd. Barca, although they had more of the possession, but after they scored in mid-second half, maybe around 70th minute or thereabout. Their style of play changed. It changed. They were a bit more, you know what, let's hold on, let's protect what we have. As against the usual, they were bombing forward and everything, So it's interesting to see Barca play that way. I've not seen them play that way in a while.
Squeaky bomb time.
Good for them.
Okay. Squeaky bomb time.
It's squeaky bomb time. But good for them. Their defensive, the defenders they played the younger ones, Kubasi and Garcia. Cancelo's back in Barcelona. I actually forgot. I saw him.
Yeah, he's back.
He was okay. He was okay. Yamal got the goal, like I said. He's in his 30s, yeah.
Yeah, it's not the same. 30s. But it was never the best defender to start with. So Yinka, a couple of things. So now the lead is back to 4 points now, right? With this win.
4 points.
Yeah, so with both because it went down to 1 after Real won. Okay. So one thing I was gonna quickly, while you were speaking about Real, I like Valverde. I like him. but he doesn't get in that team that we were talking about. I'm sorry. He's the captain. That's the thing. He's the captain of this team, and he doesn't get in the squad that Ronaldo.
So who was the midfield then? So maybe that's the question.
Modric, Toni Kroos,
and Casemiro.
I think towards Casemiro, the later end,
Modric,
right?
It was Casemiro, Modric, and Toni Kroos. Yeah. Okay, fine. I don't
good
think
Casemiro.
It doesn't.
Good Casemiro.
On at everybody's best, it doesn't get into that midfield.
But we both think he's a very useful player. But he's like a Gallagher that had coaching growing up. Just being real.
Yeah.
Being real. Like he's a decent passer. He's decent at everything. He's not great at anything.
I also think his versatility is a problem for him. So,
or is it why he is even making the team, Yinka? You think it's a problem? No. That might be the only reason he's even making the team. The versatility.
No, because they look at him and you're like, he can play right back, so let's push him. You can't play Tchouaméni right back. He can't play. Do you understand? But he can play right back. So where somebody needs cover, he can play there. He can play central defensive midfield. He can play box to box central midfield. Even he can play cam if you want him to. And with his strike, the way he strikes the ball, he can even play as a striker. So that versatility might be, and I've always said this. Sometimes versatility, the only player that I know versatility works to his advantage or worked to his advantage was Mr. Garbalawa. Every other player that is versatile, people you then don't know. People forget your best position and they don't know your best version of yourself. And it hurts you. It does.
I think the best way for me to describe Valverde is a player in the mold of Steven Gerrard without the level of skill of Steven Gerrard. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have the motor that Gerrard has. Doesn't have the athleticism
that Gerrard has. It's a remix. Yeah, it's a remix of Gerrard.
So he's a less athletic, not as strong, not as big, not as skilled, but he can all the things.
A better midfield manager, though, right?
No, more disciplined. More disciplined is what you're looking for. So again, is the coaching. One of them got coaching growing up. The other, they told him to just go and run around a bit. That's the difference.
And they told him he's the next best thing since sliced bread.
That's the thing. So, and that's what Gallagher has enough raw materials, but they just told him to run around. And then he showed up as a professional and you expect him to be able to do certain things. The tactical ability is not there. Reading the game and everything. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the crazy thing is La Liga is still a real toss-up with 4 points.
Yeah, it is. Especially since there's an El Clasico that's still coming. So you can never write that off. Anything can happen.
It's a good segue to the EPL where we have pretty much the same situation. City and Arsenal are still going to play. City have a game in hand. If they win that game, they will be 4 points behind, just like Real to Barcelona. So it's pretty much the same, except Barcelona has like a massive goals difference gap. Arsenal have 5 maybe plus 37 versus 2 plus 32, something like that.
Yeah. So you're absolutely right.
So that's the only difference, but pretty similar. So there was FA Cup this weekend. So league games were played in the midweek. So let's talk about it.
Yeah, couple of games to talk about. I think I'm going to start with Villa at home to Chelsea.
I knew you were going to start with that.
No, I have to. I'm going to start with this, right? So everybody that was shouting, Emery is a better coach than Arteta. Emery is this. Now you all know why Arsenal fired him. This is exactly why he was fired by Arsenal, right? And right now, I think he's lost his dressing room. Nobody needs to tell me that. The way the players are reacting is obvious that he's lost it. And it's not because it's not because the players don't like him or the players are not. It's because of the things he says or the way he reacts when there is a loss or when things are not going along, not going well or not going well for him. He threw his team under the bus. He is a sore loser. It's just bad. I kind of excused him in the past. I said maybe he's lost in translation type of situation. Maybe it's because his English is not perfect. Maybe if the interviews were to be in Spanish, Hakim, maybe we will not misinterpret him. I kind of filed it under misinterpretation for Emery. And that was why I just let him go to say, you know what, just go. I don't have, do you understand? I don't have the bandwidth for your stress. But seeing this unfold again in Villa, Akin, sorry now. You've had that many years in England now. Your English is better. Right? It's not language or spoken English that will make you not shake somebody's hands. It is not language or spoken English that will make you come in front of the camera and be yarning dust, as in, 3 weeks ago, I thought I was dreaming of winning the league. Now, I might not make whatever, and be throwing the players under the bus. Okay, that's not language. You're just a sore loser, and you're shifting the blame to somebody else. Whereas you're supposed, the first sign of you being a human being or being a man is once you mess up, you own up and say, dude, yeah, I'm the one in charge. I messed up. Take ownership. Take accountability. Don't ship it to someone else. Emery might not be Villa's coach next season. You heard it here first. Any counter?
Okay. No. So what I'm going to say, two seemingly contrasting things can be true at the same time. One, the Arsenal brass did him dirty when they fired him. Not because Arteta is not a good coach, great coach, not because Arteta was not the right hire, but they did him dirty. They blamed him for things that were not his fault. Right? So that can be true.
But that same brass, they all
exactly.
We can see now that they fit each other. I think I'll put it that way. Yeah. All of them, they fit each other, frankly. But go ahead.
Yeah, because they could have had Carlo Ancelotti. They let him go to Everton. So if you're looking for experience, you could have had Carlo. Carlo would have been a nice smoothing of the edges from Arsene Wenger. They're pretty much the same guy. That would have been a nice, okay, if that's what you're looking for, but instead you went a little bit half pregnant, and you got Unai Emery. That didn't work out. So they did him dirty, but is now overstayed his welcome in at least 3 different places now that we've seen. You saw PSG didn't work out. The overthinking is the only coach, I think, that didn't win the title at PSG, right? Since they got money. Is the only one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't win the title. So anyway, that no counter, I don't hate him. I wish him the best, but some things are not going well. But please continue.
Yeah. So we've already talked about Spurs. I'm not going to dive in. They lost at home to Crystal Palace 3-1. Van der Ven, stupid red card. That's it. I'm not going to talk about that anymore. Then United away to Newcastle. Now this is one that that was, I don't know what to say about Newcastle anymore. This Jekyll and Hyde, it's too much. So I'm wearing a Newcastle jersey, by the way. So
because you're trolling Man U fans again. You're doing it again. Why are you doing this?
Either way, I don't know how you want to put it. Is it I'm trolling Newcastle? I'm trolling United now because I don't.
No, you're not trolling Newcastle. They won.
But they lost the FA Cup at home.
They don't care about the FA Cup.
So I'm doing that because Jekyll and Hyde, black and white. Today they are white, or today they are. I want to actually say being good with black today. So today they are black. Today they're good, black, and the next day they're white, they're bad. I don't know what's happening to them.
Oh Lord.
The United game, by the way, Newcastle got a red card. In my opinion, that red card, we keep ranking how bad refs' decisions are.
Yeah.
That is horrible.
I didn't watch
That
it.
is up there. Aki, I've forgotten the guy's name. Ramsey. I think it was Ramsey, Abby. Yeah, it was Ramsey. He got into the box. There was a tackle. He fell to the ground.
Yeah.
This guy did not con the ref. He just fell to the ground.
Yeah,
he just fell, right? He just fell. He wasn't going to the ref to say, penalty, nothing. The ref gave a goal kick. Nothing. No free kick, no nothing. It was a goal kick. Then Harry Maguire goes to the ref and puts some pressure on the ref. And the ref suddenly says, second yellow card, red card. I'm like, what? This is exactly similar to what happened to the Lacroix incident.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Crystal Palace.
Exactly. And I'm like, refs, you can't be doing this. Any player that comes to you saying you should give somebody a yellow card, the rule says you should card the person. Yeah. That's what the rule says. So why are you not following the rule? Why are you giving the yellow card, and it's the second yellow card, for something so... For me, it's not even a foul. It was bad. Yeah. So I felt for Newcastle when that happened. Yeah. But they then got a penalty, which was a penalty. That was only the dubious one. Then they scored, United equalized. Then the Nigerian-born Danish guy, Osula scored one of the goals of the season so far.
Yeah, amazing.
William Osula. One of the goals of the season, right? That bend, it was just... So now... United fans that were all shouting for Carrick, they were like, we are going to win the next of our 25 games. We are going to win the league. Arsenal will drop points. Everywhere just went quiet. Even on our whatever, everywhere went quiet. Nobody said anything. And I'm like, well, thank you, Newcastle. This silence is sponsored by William Osula and Newcastle guys. Kudos to you people.
Oh, okay. So Osula, right? Just the way he saved that ball from going out for a throw-in was almost as good as the way he curved it with his left foot.
Yes.
And I'm not sure it's left-footed. I'm not particularly...
It's not.
Exactly.
No,
that's why
it's not left-footed.
Unbelievable. So the way he saved
the technique was...
The speed, athletic ability to save that ball from going. One, to even chase it. It wasn't the closest to it. The Man U player was closer to the ball. He got there first. He saved it from going out of touch. And then he took it when it was unexpected. He took it with his left foot. The way he curved it, the keeper will go save him. They never burn him. It's not going to happen.
Never burn him. In fact, they carried two goalkeepers put for post.
So that was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And that was only his third goal of the season, something like that.
Yeah.
Third goal in all competitions.
Yeah.
So the odds
in all competitions.
Yeah, they need to play him more.
Yeah, they need to play more, especially now that Voltameda has kind of peaked.
Yes.
Then the last game I want to talk about is the Brighton Arsenal game. Yeah.
Please go for it.
Good. So in my opinion, 3 points is all that matters. Yeah. You can play all the game you want to play. If Arsenal didn't leave that place with 3 points, then it would have been a disaster. Yeah. For Tuchel's goal, deflection, but then it was a masterclass. They had chances to score subsequent goals. Why are you looking at me like this? It was a deflection.
Goal, it was barely a deflection. It touched the guy on the side, and the ball moved this much. It was a shot on target.
If a goal was deflected and a keeper was nutmegged on the line for it to score, I believe that qualifies as fortuitous. Come on, man.
I do not. I think.
Don't let's argue about that.
Go on.
Okay, I dash you. It's not. It was a beautiful goal. It was a golazo by Saka. In fact, contender for goal of the season. If that's what you want to hear, I'll dash you that. But more importantly, Aki. Yeah. More importantly, and ignore my whatever. It's fine. More importantly, Fabian Hürzeler. I believe that's how his name is pronounced. Fabian Hürzeler did something which, in my opinion, is like, when the coach code, he kind of broke the coach code.
Well said.
You don't talk about the opponent's coach. You don't talk about the opponent. Talk about your team. Yeah. You don't say, I don't want to win that way. Right? And he started this nonsense before the game started.
It did.
Before the match started. He threw some jabs Arsenal's way. And I'm like, dude, you've played Arsenal 3 times this season.
1
and you lost 3 times.
0 times? Okay.
And you lost 3 times. You should not, if you're not careful, and I think he's going to be out of the job very soon, actually. If you're not careful, this is how you will find yourself back in Germany. Because that was disrespectful on all levels. You don't say that to an opposing coach. You don't. And during the game, he was like, oh, Arsenal are time wasting, Akin, they've gone to pull up the records. Yeah? Brighton are, in terms of the league, it's percentage of total match minutes with ball in play, right? Brighton are 53.1%. Guess what? They are 4th from the bottom. The Arsenal that you are complaining about are in top 10. So that means you're much more of a culprit, right? You're worse off than the person that you're complaining against. In that particular game, right? Arsenal spent an average of 31.4 seconds to get the ball back into play against Brighton. In this season only, there are 195 more instances than that, right? This season only. And for Brighton, 3 of their wins this season, they average more than this 31.4 seconds, Aki. Their goalkeeper is one of the people that sits on the ball the most. So, I don't understand. It's enough that the fans and the press are feeding into this narrative. This is the first coach that is actually feeding into this narrative. And I look at him and I'm like, why can't all of you be like the Leeds United coach, Falke? Falke is the nicest human being. When Arsenal came to Leeds, he played good football, and he came out and said, these guys, they beat us. They beat us well. And, you give kudos to the other team. Even the Arteta, even Pep, that are your brothers in terms of winning. They are not your mates. They are seniors, right? They don't do this when they play opposition. Even when they spank opposition, they will still give credit, thumbs up to the opposition to say they did some decent side. Talk about their strengths. You don't go into a press conference post-game and you're throwing shit at the opponent. No, it's not done. It's not done. Especially when the opponent is not even throwing anything at you. They don't even know you exist. I rest my case.
Okay. Let me tell you how much I care about what non-Arsenal fans think about the season Arsenal is having. 0. Squadouche. Does not matter to me at all. I love it. I love that they're all rage watching now, So the last time I can remember that this was happening in some quarters, right? Not all quarters, was the old Chelsea, right? The old Chelsea. But they had a charismatic coach, which some people like. I thought it was just not a good person, in my opinion. So I didn't like him. I never liked him from day one. I don't like bullies. I don't like mean people. So I never liked him. And I don't care how much success he has. It doesn't cost you anything to be a nice person. So I was never a fan of Mourinho. Me and my brother had so many arguments, probably more than any other topic in our lives. Back then we used to do it by email. There was no WhatsApp. We had many. I wasted many emails arguing about Mourinho. I cannot stand this guy. But people said bad things about Chelsea, because they didn't look like the Invincibles. They didn't look like the Manchester United sides that played,
Okay, time out. I was around during this period too, right? Akin wasn't this bad.
I know. I'm not done though.
No. It's in fact, in comparison, Akin, you're comparing sleep to
I already told you the difference. The difference is they think Mourinho is a legend. So they will say, ACN is a hack. He's always getting red cards. But look at Mourinho, shiny object over here. He just gave us another red meat in the press conference. They love all his quotes. He's always winning. He's the best. He's like Muhammad Ali calling himself the greatest. This guy called himself the special one. They're like, he's the special one. Everybody's crying. They love him. They hate Mikel Arteta. Okay. That's the difference.
So,
go on.
Time out. Time out. Why?
Because they hate him. Why? Some people...
That's my point. That's my point. You think it's him. It's not him.
No.
Right? See, let me tell you. Okay, whoever the coach is that is succeeding at Arsenal, the same hate that Arteta is getting today, that same coach, that whoever the coach is, this is not about Arteta at all. This is about the club. It's not about Arteta. They don't hate him. They hate Arsenal. So if this had been you, Akin, that you are the coach of Arsenal, today, the hate that Arteta is getting will be to you.
I understand what you're saying, right? So again, but let me put it this way. If Pep was the manager, so Pep, legendary, right? Wenger, legendary. I would argue, right? When Wenger got a lot of hate when he came. And then when he was successful, he got a lot of love, right? And then he got a lot of, hold on, Yinka. He got a lot of apologists when they should have been bashing him when we were not successful, right? So there were, he grew his own apologists. Go on.
So I hear you, but you're talking about within the Arsenal circle.
No, I'm talking about within media. Within media.
Okay. So within media, all through Wenger's life cycle at Arsenal, when he was winning, they were hating on him. And when he became they were. They were. And I remember this very, very well, right? When he came on board, when he came into Arsenal, he said, Arsene who? When it was changing, the way things happened, the way bringing in Vieira, bringing in Anelka, they were like, who is this guy? We don't recognize our Arsenal anymore. They hated him, right? And when he started dipping, they were mocking him.
Yes.
So at no point did the media, right, really, really fall in love with Wenger.
There was. Remember when they started talking about how classy he was, so it went from Arsene who to he's so classy. No. I'm talking of the media. Trust me, Yinka. There was a point where they made him a legend. They didn't have a choice. That doesn't mean it still didn't have detractors. It was still not Sir Alex. It was still beneath Sir Alex to these people. Right, but when you're riding high, trust me. Let's come back. I hope Arsenal wins all 4 trophies, or at least 3. They will change the coverage of Arteta.
Please don't say that.
No, but look, you have to say these things with your chest. They will change the coverage of Arteta. You know what they're gonna be saying now, right?
How
many Champions Leagues can he win in the next 5 years? Can he be the greatest to ever lead? These people just want something to write about. They just want something to write about. This is what happens.
No.
So what's missing, right? Like I said, the Chelsea comparison is not perfect, but it's the last time that people didn't really like a champion. Nobody likes Chelsea. Let's just keep it real. They like some of their players, but who loves John Terry if you're not a Chelsea fan? If you're African, you might like Drogba if you're African, but who likes Drogba? You know what I mean? Like he's beating up on your player. It's not exactly charismatic, but they love Mourinho because he gave them stuff to write about, But think about what you just said about the coach of Brighton. Arteta did not take the bait. Imagine if it was Pep sitting there and you said, hey, so-and-so said this about you. It would have taken the bait. But will Arteta get any credit? Absolutely not. You know, the only thing Arteta said was after he had gone to this man's house, eating all his food, slapped him around, right?
What a surprise.
He said, what a surprise. Then he said it again, what a surprise. That was the only time he said something. But that whole disrespect, but Yinka, the only way out of disrespect, right, Yinka, is to win. Just win, baby. Nobody cares. Once you win, because again, think about those of us who were old enough, right? What could we say to defend Wenger when on your 1000th game in charge, Chelsea came to your house and ate your food? 6-1, 6-0. You can't say anything.
We will do a Wenger episode. I think we said this before. I think we'll do an Arsenal history episode, right? Because I saw Arsene Wenger was on Bain Sports Sports with Richard Keys and whatever.
Okay.
And he said some things. Some of them were in his book, but he said some extra stuff, right? And those guys were like shocked. And looking back, right, I agree with you that he overstayed, yeah. But I think I now kind of understand what was going on. Yeah. I kind of understood it a lot better. Yeah. So all those bashing and all those games that you were wondering, guy, what's going on? Now we can understand. I mean, you can see what's going on. So I think it'll be nice for us to do justice to the Wenger era.
Let's do it.
And just talk about, you know, how he revolutionized English football. Right.
He did.
Then everybody caught up with him. And then he decided to sacrifice himself. That's the way I see it. Decided to sacrifice himself. He gave up and he was like, I want to satisfy the upper echelon, whatever they want. They need me to do this. They changed winning for him. They changed his KPIs and he sold his soul to those things. And right now there are a bunch of Arsenal, probably you and I included or inclusive, that look at him and be like, guy, you messed up.
Yeah.
And maybe that story, that perspective is not fair on him, frankly. Thinking back then, maybe we're too harsh on him. But we'll talk about Wenger. We'll do an episode for Wenger in detail.
Okay. So what I would just say, and we need to wrap. We've now gone, 78 minutes. So again, I started by talking about bringing a 79-year-old to save your club.
Yes.
Hopefully we both live a very long life and all that.
Amen.
But I'm usually not a fan of having like old people doing important stuff. I won't say too much. I'll just keep it at that. I'm like, let young people do young people jobs. Let old people go home and count their money and watch movies. Right? Because for me, that was it. And you can already see it. That age of what's old in coaching is getting younger and younger. It's getting younger and younger now. Now, 60 is old now. Mourinho is done at 63. It's been done. You can argue it was done at 58, maybe even 57. So you live long enough, you will see Mourinho become irrelevant, which is what we've seen. It's become irrelevant.
So you live long enough to, as a hero, you become a villain. That's what happened.
Yeah, you become a villain.
You become a villain. That's what happened. Anyway, so Brighton, the whole Brighton hierarchy, the coach, Hürzeler, accusing Raya of faking injuries, where his goalkeeper is the worst on the table, right? I guess that guy is my donkey of the week. Yeah.
And Raya has a shoulder problem that is played with all season.
Absolutely. And you're saying it's faking injury. And once again, Aki, there's no opera. Martinelli pushed somebody that was already out of the pitch. We saw Dan Burn do it. We saw Chelsea do it recently. And you're wondering, the hate is, I call it gunaphobia. That's what I call it now. There are plenty gunaphobic people. And the fact that the Arsenal is close to doing something tangible is really, really, really worrying a lot of people. And like Yoruba say, Efiniwa, their gunaphobia is beginning to wreak, Aki. Even people that you will not expect. You're seeing people say stuff, I'm like, what's the problem? It's just football and a club that is trying to win something major for the first time in a long time. Where is this hate coming from?
But Yinka, it doesn't bother me at all. Like, I just want to see. Okay, I just want to see Arsenal win.
It doesn't bother me too, right? Okay. It's just surprising. It's just surprising. And like
it's not surprising to me. It's not surprising to me. You know,
because we get. We see a lot of people. We see a lot of people that say, "Oh, I hate Arsenal because of their fans," right? And by the time you ask them specifically, what exactly is it about their fans that you hate? They will tell you things that every single fan of every single club that you and I know, they do it. They do exactly the same thing. So I'm like, so move beyond this. I hate their fans. It's not the fans. What exactly it is it? So my own diagnosis is simple, Aki. A team that you've mocked for a long time is about to become successful. That is the problem.
That's it. It was me when Spurs got to the Champions League final.
Absolutely.
I'm like, they cannot win this thing.
They cannot win this thing. That cannot happen. Exactly. Exactly.
And that was especially worse because that was not a good team. And you could tell they were not a good team because they were not contending in the Premier League. So I want to be upfront. I always say Champions League, as big as it is still a cup. For me,
it is.
If you play in a competitive league, the test for me is what did you do in that league? So Chelsea's first Champions League, or was it the first one where they came sixth? I'm like, you came sixth. Even the miracle in Istanbul for Liverpool, I enjoyed it. I watched it. I enjoyed it. But it came sixth that year, Yinka.
Yeah.
They came sixth that year.
Yeah.
So, but if Spurs had won that, no. So yeah, I would be doing what they're doing to Arsenal right now. I will be doing it to Spurs. I would be doing it, but I don't expect people who write for a living to be me
to do it.
I'm a fan.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
It is what it is. Anyway, Akin, I've wrapped up the donkey of the week.
That's it. Done. We're done. Let's get out of here.
So we're done. Let's get out of here. You take us out. Yeah. My energy level is way here now.
No. All right. Thank you, Inka. Thank you, everyone. This was fun. We need more subscribers on YouTube. Maybe we need to cut this and post it. We need more subscribers on YouTube. We are stuck on the same number for 3 weeks now running, right? So everyone, please do the needful. If you've watched it and you like this, send this to someone. Get us subscribers. Do it. We'll be back next week. This was fun. 8 more games until Arsenal are champions. I can't wait. Yinka, you want to say goodbye?
Yeah, I want to say goodbye. Thanks, everyone. Thanks so much. Everything Aki said, please do it. Do it multiple times. Yes. And we will see everyone next week. Okay?
Yeah, we'll see you next week. And good.
Cheers, people. Bye-bye.